Hey, what's up, Libra? Welcome back to another general tarot reading. I'm doing something a little different in this particular cycle of reads. I am trying to do a much faster format for these, where I try to wrap up the videos much quicker, and I'm not using titles or descriptions, just to sort of stick to a more rapid pace of upload, just to kind of see how the traction sticks. So thank you for clicking on this, even though there was not a title or description. And I'm hoping to get a little bit more viewer watch time for these things, so that's why I'm doing this. I'm trying to shift I'm definitely trying to stay out of being so long-winded, and I'm just trying to be more direct. So for your core energy for this reading, we have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Very good. So very cute. Your Libra balance is in this. So that's pretty, or your Libra scale is in this. That's a good symbolism to start off with. A good sign of charity. And that maybe not like directly like a charity business, but a good sign of graciousness, whether from you or to you. So that is very good. A very good energy to start with compared to the last read, which was the Devil in reverse for the core energy. So good sign here for you. Definitely a good sign. Let me see if I can expand the Six of Pentacles here for you. Let's see, what kind of, can I get a single good clarifier? Okay, so Six of Pentacles clarifier is the Hermit in reverse. Gee, that's what Virgo needed in their last reading. It's almost like you're giving too much, even though you're giving. The Hermit in reverse is a failure to learn from past mistakes. So I'm curious to see what the clarifiers are here, but right off the top, there's some kind of faultiness in how you are giving things. You're not managing to retrospect properly. Maybe you're also somebody who receives donations, but that is not allowing you to grow out of your own comfort zone. And that's a form of lacking the self-reflection of the Hermit in reverse, which is about, it's basically about studying your past in order to kind of learn from it. So, very strange. Let me expand this further. Can I please expand the Six of Pentacles? Oh, there we go. Okay, sweet. So Six of Pentacles expands even further. Wow, by the Eight of Cups. Very similar to what I was just suggesting. This is a sign about walking away from something for something better, which is really starting to strike me as as a smidgen of complacency. Just a smidge of it. Because, as I was suggesting, if this charity, if this graciousness is keeping you stagnant, then there's an even better way to be than that. And that's part of what the Eight of Cups is signifying, is that you're moving on from something. And it might even be something that you're very used to. And there might even be a lot of social pressure around you to stay this way, which is part of what the Eight of Cups symbolizes. It's not just that you're walking away, but you're walking away from something that other people think is good enough. And they, to a smidge of a degree, can resent you for doing that. So, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Let me see if I can clarify the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so the Six of Pentacles is clarifying by the Three of Cups. Like I was suggesting, whatever this charity is, whatever this graciousness is, it creates a lot of social camaraderie. And it feels very successful. But the problem is that, so I'm going to clarify the Hermit, or I'll expand the Hermit in reverse, but the energy is that, this was trying to come out for the Hermit, the Death card. Yeah, this energy is like, even though you are able to feel successful in this graciousness, something is not serving you properly. And once again, it's another sign that there are other individuals here that you enjoy your time with as a part of this. So you're enjoying the fruits of these labors, or you're enjoying the rewards of this graciousness, but it's trapping you in some other sense. You are being implored to move on from that because there is something better for you, and it's being signified here that it's keeping you from becoming stronger, is what this is signifying. And you even have the Death card coming out here, which is like, it's definitely asking you to move on from that mentality. It is definitely, and it's actually a good sign that you can, being in the upright. it's a sign that this lack of self-reflection needs to end, sort of. So unfortunately, what is really coming to mind here, and I know this is a little political, but I'm going to say it anyway, this is really striking me as homelessness in San Francisco, where you get paid 50 grand a year to be homeless. Sure, you're getting 50 grand a year, and sure, there's a lot of other people around you who think it's okay, but like, you're just sitting on the street doing nothing. Like, you can have a much brighter life than that, especially if you're receiving money like this. And a lot of other people who are complacent in that, they don't want you to leave that space because they want to be comfortable in their own complacency. But this is showing me that maybe you are not. So the idea that you are, and that's just an example. I'm not suggesting that you're homeless, but that's an example of what that is actually what's coming off the top of my head here. And that is what is being suggested, is it's something like that. There's some kind of complacency you're in, even though you're like financially and socially successful. Very strange. Very strange. It's speaking here to the lack of your own ability to grow, which is something life expects of you. So you're not actually fulfilling your higher purpose by being stuck in whatever this is, even though it's good, even though it feels good and it gives you good energy. The other thing here is we have 6-3, so 9, so 9-9. So the Hermit is definitely saying that you're not self-reflecting on this, and it looks like on the outside it's really good. So you might not consider self-reflecting if everything's going well, but you are definitely being asked to do that, big time. Can we clarify okay, so Hermit in reverse clarified by the Fool in reverse, G. Once again, failing to take a journey forward, failing to find enthusiasm for this. You might be a little bit more comfortable than I was suggesting with the Fool in reverse. That is somebody who is not excited about having to take a new path forward. So the Fool is, typically the Fool in the upright is enthusiasm for the journey ahead. The Hermit, the Fool in reverse, though, is somebody who is stalling that process, resisting that growth and change within themselves, not having enthusiasm to take the path forward, resisting the path forward. And resisting that path forward is keeping you in this lack of self-reflective ability. It's keeping you from learning your past mistakes. So if you are, to go back to the homeless person example, a lot of those people are on drugs, and that's not good for them. It's not good for them to be hurting themselves like that. And on top of it, there's a lot of like needles and trash that gets left all over the street. So it's like, it's deterring other people's experience, and it's wasting money, a lot of money. And it's dangerous for a lot of reasons. But for some reason, and the reason seems to be because of how stable this other stuff is, feeling socially successful and feeling graciously successful. There's like a block to self-reflecting on how those actions are. It's failure to self-reflect on the effects of those particular behaviors. So if you're not a homeless person literally, even though that's what's ringing in my clock, or like it's ringing the bell in my head for some reason, is literally that. But in general, there is complacency here from success. And it could just be that you're getting money from someone. So if you're just getting money from someone somehow, and like you're even in a social dynamic where there's other people who get money in the same way that you do, you all are like enjoying your money, and you're feeling successful, and you're feeling camaraderie, and you're enjoying each other's company and all that stuff. But there's some kind of consequences that you are not reflecting on, whether they be for yourself or for others. And you are being asked to change that for some reason. You're being asked to grow out of that, and you're being asked to move on to something better, even when other people might not. It might be tough to do that because these other people are very comfortable, and they are going to resist you trying to find something better because to them it's good enough. But there's a smidge here that you don't think it's good enough. You're looking for something better. But to find that something better, you've got to focus on. You've got to self-reflect differently. You've got to adhere. You've got to really acknowledge the consequences of your actions, and how those are not making you stronger in a certain sense. And it doesn't look like you're very good at that by default. Perhaps maybe like you're not very natural at acting like that. And that's what the Fool is in reverse is suggesting, that it's very unnatural for you to utilize this Hermit energy correctly. That it's very natural for you to not self-reflect in that way, or even worse, self-reflect inaccurately. So, dang. That's pretty tough. Pretty tough, but this reading is already like much more clear than the last one. The last one was very tricky. So I'm happy to see that this one is emerging a little more clearly for you. So let me see here. I'm going to expand the Eight of Cups. Okay, so pretty clear. And your cards are coming out much quicker. We're only at 10 minutes and we're already getting pretty good. So Eight of Cups is expanded by the Nine of Wands. Wow. Yeah, you are not relying on personal strength. Whatever this graciousness is, it seems to be coming to you as opposed to you giving it. And that means that you don't have to rely on your personal strength. So what you're moving away from with this Eight of Cups is you're moving from the Eight of Cups, and it's another 9 also, so we've got 9, 9, 9. If we go with 6, 9, 6, 3 to 9, 9, and 9. So I'm going to have to review my numerology for what 9 means. I've only reviewed up to like number 2 and 3, but this is a sign of moving on to your own strength. Your own strength. Not relying on the strength of others. And not because it doesn't work, but because sort of to a certain extent, your higher power in the universe needs you to embrace that in yourself. You can't just get complacent and stuck in this energy that will diminish your quality of living on a spiritual level. Even if materially it's very enjoyable. So, very good card there. It's a very good card. And once again, it plays into this, the way you evolve into this Nine of Wands is you've got to rectify this Hermit energy. You have to apply the Death card to this Hermit in reverse, and you've got to flip that around. And you've got to face the weakness in you to a certain extent. Not that there is a whole lot of it, but you've got to grow beyond your weakness. And you've got to self-reflect on your weakness and grow beyond it. That is how you reach the Nine of Wands power. Personal power, attained personal strength. So, yeah, definitely a very interesting call for you to change in this particular instance. And I know a lot of these. Oh man, I keep coming back to the homeless thing. I don't know why that is, but it's such a quaint example here. Those people are very strangely kind of locked into a political bubble where they're told they don't ever have to change, and that's why it's okay to like needle up in a tent on the street and poop on the street. Other people's street that their taxpayers pay for and get paid money by those people to like continue that behavior while other people have to work for much less money than that and toil and can't break the law so blatantly. It's very strange. Very, very strange. But there's a good sign here that you are open to the idea of moving forward, but the idea of moving forward is definitely a little unnatural to you. But that makes sense if you're used to living like this. And if you literally are a homeless person, it makes a ton of sense because you're like, there's so much momentum in people acting like that right now in certain parts of the country. So you'd have the money though if you live in San Francisco to get, a phone or whatever to listen to this reading. So it wouldn't surprise me, even if you're quote unquote homeless, that you could hear this. But most of you probably aren't homeless, literally. It's just that is a very good example of how you can actually stunt your own growth, even though you have things that are traditionally considered good and successful. Like if you go up to someone and say, yeah, I make $50K a year and I have a bunch of friends, it's like, that sounds good. But when you really dig under the surface, if it is that style of example where you're like a homeless person, like it really, really shakes the foundation of how good this really is. So, and very interesting. And I'm very happy now because the last read, like I said, was tricky. Very tricky. It was for Virgo and they were definitely having some trouble. And the energy was very split. There was two separate lines, but this is all coming together very well. So it's even a very clean reading here, and I'm very happy to see that. Because by 14, 15 minutes, hopefully that will help you to not lose your patience watching this. Yep. So, okay. So let me continue here. I'm going to try and clarify the Eight of Wands. Okay, so clarify the Eight of Cups. The Moon card. Ooh. So we got Moon here. Dang it. So I've been missing this card. The Moon card is about illusion. So very interesting. Even though you are in this camaraderie, it is very loose. And it kind of is going to what I was just suggesting, that the success, because this card is known as the Lord of Success, and these people are enjoying success. They're happy about feeling successful. The Moon is suggesting that they are, in fact, illusioned to how successful they truly are. And part of the reason why they're illusioned to how successful they truly are is because they didn't actually earn the money, it looks like. It looks like graciousness gave them their money. So being too proud of that is kind of what the moon is signifying. These people are too proud of this, even though it feels good, and even though it is living up to this card's notion of feeling successful. Very interesting. And then beyond that, to move on from the Eight of Cups. So what's interesting here is this Eight of Cups individual is walking back into the situation. Very strange. And the moon is showing illusion. So I'm not sure about that. I'm going to see if I can clarify this again. Can I clarify the Nine of Wands, please? To kind of elaborate on this moon card. Okay, so Four of Pentacles. Interesting. So the Four of Pentacles is about you grounding yourself. And once again, it speaks to personal strength. And man, this is very tricky for me because the moon card is supposed to be about being an illusion, but you would be getting over this illusion if you walked away. So it's almost like you're going to struggle walking away, even though it's your intention. And that's even being reinforced by the fact that this individual is like walking back into this situation in this depiction and in this symbolism. So you might have to try a couple times to bust out of this, is what I'm seeing. But if you can do that, there is a message here that you are going to be able to find your personal strength differently. You're going to be able to find your own personal power, and you're going to be able to ground yourself in your own material stability. You're not just going to be doled out to, so to speak. So that's definitely interesting. Can we expand the Nine of Wands, please? Can I get a clear expansion for the Nine of Wands? Let's get a clear expansion for the Nine of Wands here. Even the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, this is like, you're going to be able to look back at your own success after doing this. And you're going to be able to reflect on your own capacity to achieve this material abundance. You're not going to have to continue relying on other people. So that's very good. That's actually very good to see. And it's just, it is a good sign that eventually you're going to find your way, even though you might be running into some issues getting out of the situation for whatever reason. And part of that might just be because you're not used to doing this hermit thing here. So maybe your first attempt is too hard, but as you kind of like keep trying to do this, it's like you find your way out eventually, is what these extra cards are symbolizing here. So it might take a couple tries. It might not be comfortable at first glance, and you might fall back into your complete reliance on the complacency. You might miss this. You might start to miss this, and you might come back into it. But the long-term message here is that you're eventually going to find your way out of it. So maybe you'll need a couple attempts, but that's the message, is that one way or the other, eventually you're going to find your way out of here. So let me get one more shuffle in and take a look at the timer. We're still under 20 minutes at this point. Let me expand the Death card. Clear expansion for the Death card, please. Okay, so Death card expanded by Five of Swords. Wow. So to grow out of this inability to grow yourself, it looks like you're going to have to, you may have to step on some toes. When these people try to rope you back in, you're going to have to stand your ground, and you're going to have to not fight physically with your fists necessarily, but you're going to have to a certain extent, really express the fact that you see something better for yourself. And when you do that, these people aren't going to appreciate it. And you're going to have to leave them behind. They aren't of the same quality as you to see this path forward. So what we're seeing with the Five of Swords here is that you are going to, in fact, be the one who sees your path forward. And you are going to be the one who has to push forward on your path, even though it is difficult. Because you can see the path before you. You have the fortitude to want that better life for yourself. But other people aren't going to. So you're not going to be able to like bring everybody along with you. You're not going to be able to convince everybody else to come along with you. It's just the nature of the energy here. It's going to be, you're going to be leaving people behind when you change like this, because they are very comfortable in this energy. They never, ever, ever want to self-reflect. So some people are just super comfortable like this. So it's a smidge of a sign that maybe you fell into this differently than them. Some of them are just so complacent and so comfortable, and they're just completely fine being like that. And you're even fine being like that up to a certain point, but you're going out of it eventually. People who are very comfortable and not self-reflecting, they are not going to follow you down this path that requires self-reflection. So it's just a sign here that even though you have the quality to grow in this fashion, when you do start to grow and go down this path, you are going to definitely be ruffling some feathers, and you're going to be shedding some weakness that exists around you in the form of other people. So once again, another good sign that you're going to be able to bust out of this, that you're going to accomplish this, dropping this hermit energy in the reverse. But I apologize that not everybody is going to be following you. It's another sign of the Eight of Swords. It's why they're going to be glad to see you leave eventually, because you're stepping on their way of life, so to speak. So, and once again, it doesn't mean you're homeless, but that idea of like your own personal strength not being involved in getting you this happiness and stability and material abundance, it's weighing on you eventually. And for some reason, you've got it in your head now that you want this personal stability, personal strength. So, very interesting. And I'm very glad to see it because I appreciate that personal strength. That makes it easier for you to one day be somebody who's more gracious. So, okay. Let's clarify the death card, please. Whoops, accidentally got two clarifiers. I'm going to redo that. Can I get one clear clarifier for the death card, please? One clear death card clarifier, if you don't mind, please. Alright, so we've got the Page of Pentacles. Interesting. So that is somebody who is gracious by default. The energy is very good, actually. They are like... I'm missing the words exactly. The cards still really throw me for a ringer sometimes, so I'm happy that I haven't seen one yet in this whole read, because a lot of the other energies make a lot of sense to me, but sometimes these court cards throw me off. They are a gracious individual. So maybe you want to repay, maybe you're gracious in your core. Maybe a gracious individual is who helps you out with this. They can also be sort of ingenious. Not ingenious, that wasn't the word I meant. I really meant like industrious. They can figure out ways to make their own money, kind of. Like, and they are gracious in their own right, and they are kind and caring and gentle in their own ways. And it's kind of a sign here that if you like to grow out of this hermit energy, one thing that you could focus on is, you know, the fact that you want to be industrious like that, which is where you're headed over here. And the fact that you want to be gracious like that, to possibly be gracious yourself and to repay, you know, the energy that life has put into you. So, interesting. Definitely interesting card there. Let me see here. Can we clarify the Five of Swords, please? Okay. Chariot. Heck yeah. You're on your way, man. Or woman. You are on your way to a different level of personal strength. You are on your way to being able to take the reins of your own chariot and succeed with your own quality. It's all over this reading. It's all over this reading. And it looks like you're going to be very willing to leave these people behind in the end. You're not going to really have any regrets. You might regret it to a certain extent, but you're not going to regret it enough to let it take away the life that you see for yourself. And it's just definitely a sign of empowerment. So like when you leave these people behind, it's a sign that is really when you push forward. That is when you really take the reins of your own life. So even more energy to that fact. So this is very great to see. Final clarifier, please, for the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, and we're also looking at 7, 7. So we've got 7, 7. Yeah, okay. So almost 7, 7, 7. But not quite, just 7, 7. So can you please clarify the Seven of Pentacles, please? Ah, crap, I had one and I dropped it out, my bad. Final clarifier for the 7 of Pentacles on this reading, which is at 25 minutes, so it kind of came up, it's kind of sped up a little bit, but I want to hold on that one. The energy here is very good. It's very good to see that some people get their energy in, like, not only are they in negative energy, but they're like stuck in negative energy. You are like in positive energy, but it's kind of an illusion, and you see that, so you want to break out, but you do. So, you know, like something with you and law, but you apparently have some natural law of attraction notion, because you kind of get what you're going for here, one way or the other. Whether you stay in your complacency you manage to get, or whether you reach for your own power you manage to get it, and that's very good. Other people cannot figure that out a lot of the time, and they are very stuck in a certain type of energy that would make it very difficult to deal with either of these situations, whereas you are dealing with both of them almost with flying colors, except for this smidge of a regression. There's a smidgen of a regression here, and this is kind of why that is, but the rest of it is you doing pretty dang good. So, yeah, you're an individual of quality anyway, and that might be why the universe needs you to embrace that. So I'm very curious to see what this final clarifier is for sure. So, okay, a final clarifier for the 7 of Pentacles. It'd be cool if it was the Justice card. Oh, it's the Emperor. Bro, you have got to rise up and be stronger. You are going to figure out just how strong you are. You are so full of strength. You are denying the world this stability and this Emperor power, and this individual who can ride the chariot, because we're seeing this in your balance here. You're denying this capacity to the world when you are stuck in whatever the situation is, whatever this complacency is. And that is exactly why this reading is calling you to grow out of this. And a lot of times, that's why other people like you being trapped there. So very strange. Very strange how you're trapped in the first place, because it looks like you're on the path to evolve into the Emperor, bro. Bro or lady, bro. So, like, you might find a lot of resistance from people who can feel your true capability, and who might be really trying to keep you down, but you have Emperor potential here to bring to the world. The Emperor, the chariot is for this Emperor. So I don't know what strength you're going to embrace here. I don't know what situation you're in. For some reason, homelessness just keeps ringing in my head big time. Honestly, that's what keeps ringing in my head. But some other form of charity, some other form of, like, other people being gracious to you, that keeps you from embracing your truest strength. That is what's being called for from you here. You're being called to achieve that greatness, and the greatness is in you. And the reasons that you're being resisted from that are outside of you to a certain extent. And you aren't even, because this energy here, if you're stuck in the Hermit reverse, the full reverse, you'll never reach the Emperor. You can't reach the Emperor being like that, because the Emperor has to grow quite a lot to reach this throne. But according to this energy, you're actually not going to struggle too much getting out of this. You're going to be able to make that difference. And maybe hearing that you have got Emperor quality is what is going to take you down that path. So maybe this reading is what you needed to hear. If that's the case, when you become this Emperor, throw me a couple bucks on PayPal, please. Come on. For inspiring you, you could probably do that for me. It would go a long way towards me being able to not get put into creditors' custody for some of my debt that I've accumulated over the years trying to go to college and open a business and all this other crap. So just saying. If you do happen to reach this capacity, I could use your help, but it's not good taste for me to actually ask so directly for that. So I'll leave it up to you in the end, and I won't have no hard feelings. But it would be cool to hear that, you know, somebody of this stature got here because of a tarot reading that busted them out of this situation. So that might be its own reward in itself. So you don't have to rush to the financial support thing. I won't hold you over that. Even though I really need the money. Like, I can't do this for the money, even though I need to do this for the money. Even though I'm doing this for the money, I'm also doing it legitimately and authentically for helping people like this, to help people grow in these ways and fashions. If I didn't need the money, I wouldn't do this for the money. I only, ask for the money because I need it. If I had $1 million, I would be willing to do this anyways. So it's just the predicament I'm in, trying to make some money off of this. So, all right, Libra, so that's pretty cool. It's really awesome. This is probably my favorite reading of this whole cycle. Like, it's pretty cool. Way easier than the last reading. It all is very clear, and very great energy. I'm very proud that I was able to read this for you. So take care, good luck, and be one hell of an emperor, motherfucker.